Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Derek Wilton of DH Music, and today I want to talk to you about this guitar. This is my baby. I know you're not supposed to have a favorite guitar, but I think this one's my favorite. This is an MJT VTS Strat copy, I guess you would call it. Kind of a 57 spec relic guitar. And obviously with this beautiful Aztec gold finish, I referred to it as Shoreline in one of my other videos, and someone very graciously corrected me, so I do apologize. This is an Aztec gold body, and this was obviously built as a tribute to Lincoln Brewster's Strat. Lincoln's huge influence on me as a player, and absolutely love his guitar. And I figured at the time when I built this, which is probably what 3-4 years ago, I was thinking, well, they'll never make a Lincoln Brewster signature Strat, so this is about as close as I'll ever get. Imagine my surprise when they actually do make a Lincoln Brewster signature Strat. And honestly, when that guitar was announced and it was eventually finally released, it was a long process. I thought, long and hard about selling this guitar. I had some other stuff I was going to kind of sell. And kind of looking at it, I'm like, okay, I could probably sell this guitar and some other stuff I wasn't really using that much and buy a Lincoln Brewster signature Strat. It seemed like it'd be the perfect guitar for me. And I thought about it, and actually had this thing listed for like 5 minutes on Reverb, and I couldn't bring myself to get rid of it. And I was really on the fence about it, and I'll tell you what got me. I'll never forget this. I had this guitar listed. I was sitting here at my desk. I had it listed on Reverb. The listing went live, and while I was doing it, I was watching a video about the Lincoln Brewster signature Strat. In fact, the one of Lincoln himself actually demoing the guitar. And I was watching it and everything, and he said something that really stuck out to me. He was talking about, the reason he put his signature on the neck plate as opposed to like on the headstock or something like that. And he said, ultimately, I want this to be your guitar. So if you don't want that neck plate on there, you can take it off if you want it to be your guitar. And that's kind of his whole goal behind it. And, I thought, wow, that's a pretty cool sentiment. Then I was sitting there looking at it. The guitar was on the stand, just sitting there looking at me. I think she knew I was trying to get rid of her. And not gonna lie, I got a little emotional, and that sounds really stupid, but, if you've ever had a guitar you were really, really close to, if you had a guitar you were pretty sentimental about, you completely understand. And I thought about it, and I thought, I can't bring myself to get rid of this thing, because this is my guitar. Not only was it made for me, to my specs, literally perfect for me. If I didn't like it, it's my fault. So, because MJT, I told them what I wanted, and they absolutely delivered. And, I've got a lot of memories of the guitar. A lot of this wear and tear that's got me, obviously it's a relic, but a lot of this is actually me. Because I was, originally this was a little bit more beat up than it is now, believe it or not, and I was trying to touch it up some and try to clean it up a little bit, just because when I initially got it, I reliced it a little bit more beyond what I got from MJT, and didn't like the way it looks, so I tried to touch it up, and didn't know anything about finishing guitars, and I really ruined the finish of it. And I've got some pictures you're seeing now. It just looked absolutely horrible, and so I decided, well, that's not any good. So I did some research and stripped it back and refinished it. Kind of brought it back to where it was supposed to be, and a lot of these dings and scratches and stuff are from me. And I don't know if you saw that earlier, but I have a it's kind of upside down, it's a little morbid, but got a cross that I carved in it with a screwdriver. I don't know why. I just carved a cross in it. And then you can't tell because it's got a back plate on it, but my wife's initials are in the trim cavity. I don't know. This is my guitar. And, and I might buy a Lincoln Brewster Strat at some point. I would obviously love to own one, but honestly, I'm not going to sell this guitar to get one. This is just my baby. But that being said, I really did like the Lincoln Brewster signature Strat, and I like the whole concept of he had like a clean boost and a mid boost built into it. So I was like, okay, well, I guess let me see about getting that on this guitar. So emailed Fender, asked them what they used, if it was something they outsourced or if it was something they built. And they told me it was something that was proprietary to this guitar. They designed it for it. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, is this going to be like the Clapton thing where I can buy it and install it on my guitar? Still waiting on an email back. And before you say it was due to COVID-19, this was months ago before this whole COVID crap started, so it's just Fender didn't want to respond to me for some reason. So it's alright, no hard feelings. I decided, well, I'm going to do some research and see if I can't kind of recreate that circuit myself. So some of you might be familiar with my last video that I did where I talked about the GF Tron pickups that I put in my green parts caster. Well, while I was on GuitarFetish.com, I noticed they had a 5-way rotary Clapton circuit, or Clapton style circuit that they sold. And it was kind of a cool idea. I said, well, that'd be a cool kind of dry run, a little proof of concept to see if that's something I actually would like in my guitar. And I thought, you know, what a cool idea. It's kind of a little bit of a 2-in-1 because the Lincoln Brewster Strat has a clean boost and a mid boost, whereas this is all kind of in one knob. And plus, it was $30. I figured, why not? So I threw it in there, and I've been pleasantly surprised by the way it sounds. And if you are curious about the way it sounds, go check out my cover of Let Your Glory Shine. You'll hear exactly what it sounds like. That's actually what I used on that cover. So what I did was I pulled up my Lincoln Brewster preset. In fact, let me go ahead and get that dialed in here on the Pod Go. All right, get that pulled up. And so what was happening was I was plugged into the Pod Go. I was plugged into the Pod Go on my Lincoln Brewster preset. And what I did was during like the intro, the verse, and everything up until the solo, it was completely bypassed out of the circuit and sounded like this. So that's basically what the sound was, and then when it came into the solo, I flipped this rotary switch all the way to the maximum position, so it's maximum mid boost and maximum gain boost, and it sounded like this. So, I don't know if you heard there was a pretty good gain boost, a pretty good mid boost. I didn't step on a pedal. My pod's sitting here on the table. And all I did, I do step on a pedal in the video. All that is just the channel volume boost. I didn't step on any overdrives or anything. I didn't change scenes. It was all happening within the guitar. So, let me go to a little cleaner snapshot. So, this is going to be snapshot 2 for anyone who's using my preset, which, by the way, thank you to everyone who's downloaded it and left really nice comments about the preset. So this is going to be snapshot 2, a little cleaner setup. And I'm going to leave the delay and reverb off, that way you can really hear what this thing sounds like. So, in position 1 on the rotary is completely bypassed, so the guitar like normal. Now I do need to explain a little bit about how this thing is wired. So this is a master volume control, still has a triple bleed circuit. So you know when you have the volume down, it cleans up really nicely. So you have that. This was a neck tone control, and then this was the bridge tone control. So I had to kind of do something kind of clever, and this is actually what the Lincoln Brewster Strat has as well. So rather than going with a master tone control, because I don't like master tone controls on Strats, because I kind of take the Jeff Beck approach when I'm dialing in my presets. I dial it to where it sounds good on the neck pickup, and then I will use the bridge tone control to kind of balance out the top end. So you'll find that typically I'll have the tone control on my Strat on the bridge pickup rolled down to anywhere from 7, 8, 6, sometimes even down to 3, depending on what kind of tone I'm using. But I'll use that to kind of balance out the tone, because it's much easier to take away top end from the guitar than to add it. You can't really add any top end to the guitar, so at least not passively. So that's how I usually do it. And I didn't want to sacrifice the tone of the neck pickup with a load on it. Now, what I mean by that is whenever you take a load off of a off of a pickup, it tends to be a very wide open kind of sound. Because like on the middle pickup on this guitar, on all my Strats, I don't have any tone control in there. That's because I want it to be really nice and glassy. I like the way it helps to add a lot of glass to like the 2 and 4 positions. So like usually like if I have the bridge pickup with a tone rolled back a little bit, sometimes what tends to happen is when you go to the 2 position, it kind of has a really dull sound, whereas when you go to the 2 position with this, it's a really nice sparkly tone. So I really like the way that sounds, but if you take the tone control off a neck pickup, sometimes it gets really swampy and just a little too harsh for me. So what I did was I took a 250k ohm resistor. The resistor attached to the neck pickup send. So one end's connected to the switch, the other end's connected to ground, and then I have a wire from the bridge send to this back tone pot. And I'll have a link in the description to that resistor because it's pretty hard to find, but I finally found a company that sells it. And it works really, really well. So the neck pickup sounds exactly like it did before. So I really like that. I think that sounds great. So let's mess with this preamp. So you heard what it sounds like completely bypassed. And something that's really cool about it is when this thing is bypassed, it's bypassed. I can disconnect the battery. I'm not going to because I have to take the back plate off. By the way, I'm using the Fishman Fluence battery pack, which is amazing. Gone are the days of having a battery under the pick guard, having to peel that back. That's just stupid because I can plug in a cell phone charger into this and it lasts for weeks. I've yet to charge this thing since I've had it hooked up, and I've had it for a couple of weeks now. And that's with me forgetting that I've got an active preamp in this guitar and leaving it plugged in a lot. So that's just a testament to how great this thing is. But what's really cool about it is position 2 of the rotary switch is a active buffer. And I don't know if you can hear this, but it does raise the noise floor just a little bit. So there it is on. I'll turn it back off. There it is back on and off. So you may not be able to hear it. It may not be coming through on the recording, but I'm direct monitoring from the Pod Go, and I do hear it a little bit. Now, I will say I did use it this weekend at church, and I used about a 25-foot cable at the church, and I didn't really notice a huge jump in noise. I really didn't even notice any, to be honest with you. Whereas I'm using a 10-foot cable here, maybe that has something to do with it. But what's really cool about having that buffer installed is now if I am running a longer cable, I don't get any of that tone loss that you get with a longer cable. Maybe you're running through a bunch of true bypass pedals and getting some tonal degradation through doing that. So having that buffer is really nice. I do like that a lot. So what I'll do is I'll have the buffer off and then I'll kick it back on. And it does have a little bit of an impact on the tone. I find it kind of tightens it up and maybe cleans it up a little bit. It's kind of a neat effect. So I'll turn it off and I'll turn it back on so you can hear what it sounds like. So to me, it's kind of like a hi-fi kind of sound. Really, really nice. So you're not getting into that tone loss from the cable. Moving into position 3, you're getting a little bit of a mid boost. And to me, this is really nice for leads. In isolation, it doesn't sound that great, I'm going to be honest with you. But I kicked this on a little bit while we were rehearsing, and it does kind of help your leads to kind of pop out. So I'll show you what I mean with it off, then I'll kick it on. So what that is that's just a slight mid boost. It's not a gain boost. So and I don't know exactly what frequency it is, but it's kind of an upper mid. I don't want to quite say cocked wah. Maybe if it had a little bit more gain, it would have more of that cocked wah kind of sound. But really nice tone. And then you move into position 4, which is a mid boost with a slight gain boost. So you are going to hear a little bit of the gain jump up, and this is kind of, it reminds me of like a vintage PAF type sound. Not exactly, but it kind of helps this guitar to cover some of that ground, and you'll kind of hear what I mean. So here it is with it off. it kind of gives a low output humbucker-esque kind of sound. In a mixed context, I really like the way that sounds. And yeah, it does have a little bit of that cocktail kind of sound, but I don't know, I kind of dig it. It's got kind of a funky, old, PAF type sound. So I really do like that. And then position 5, and that's the position I use for the Let Your Glory Shine solo, is maximum mid boost, maximum gain boost. So I'm going to start with it off, and then I'll kick it on, and you'll hear just how much gain this really does have on tap. So pretty nice tone. And like I said, that's what I used on the solo to Let Your Glory Shine. So you get a good gain boost, a good mood boost, and I actually really like the sound of it. If I had any complaints about it, is it's not variable at all. So I get those preset positions, but I happen to like positions 4 and 5. But the other ones are kind of cool for certain effects, but not necessarily tones that I would rely on very much. So it's a really cool proof of concept. So I definitely think I'm going to be putting in a clean boost as well as a mid boost, probably something like the Eric Clapton mid boost, or I'm really looking at the EMG SPC control. I think that's going to be a little bit more along the lines of what I'm looking for. So if anyone in the comment section has a little bit of familiarity with those units, definitely let me know in the comment section below. As far as the clean boost, I'm going to be getting the BCOS or BCOS, whatever it is, micro booster. So that's going to be something pretty cool. So that's going to be the clean boost, and then I'll have the mid boost there as well. And yeah, I really like it. And guys, for $30, this is something that's really fun. Like I said, I used it this weekend at church. I used it in the cover of Let Your Glory Shine. And honestly, I'll probably end up taking this and putting it in one of my other guitars, just because I think it is something that's pretty cool. I think it's a really neat sound. Kind of gives you a nice, fat, humbucker-esque kind of sound. You get a good little bit of output. And one of the things I think is really cool about it is if you are a worship leader and you don't exactly have the opportunity to step on a pedal every time, just get different tones, it's nice to be able to get that from the guitar. So I really, really like that a bunch. So yeah, that's been my review, I guess, of this unit. I am going to be looking into some other preamps to get a little closer to the Lincoln Brewster setup. I'm pretty excited about it. Got some cool stuff down the pipe, getting some new pickups for the Sunburst Strat coming in soon. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So hope you guys enjoyed that. It's just a not exactly quick video, but just a little idea of some things to come. If anyone has any suggestions of some products I should be looking into as well, definitely put it in the comment section below. I'd be really interested to see what you guys think. If you are not currently subscribed, definitely feel free to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know every time I go live or do an upload. Currently, I am getting ready to do a 100 subscriber giveaway. I'm just a few subscribers away. So watch my previous video linked in the description below if you want to learn more about that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think about this. I think for $30 you can't go wrong. I think it sounds pretty great. Really musical sounding, really usable. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one.